Okay, good evening, my fellow Lupus warriors. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope this video finds you guys doing well and staying as safe and healthy as possible. Well, on my side of the world, it is 3:30 a.m. I don't know what side, I don't know what time it is on your side of the world. And yes, I am up filming a video at 3:30 a.m. And it's not because I'm having a sleepless night, but I ran into a couple of stumbling blocks when I attempted to film this video. Before filming the video, I debated if I should even come on and do a video this late. And after careful debate, I came to the conclusion that I should do a video because the information was important and I didn't want there to be a long period of time um, before you guys received another video from me. But as I got started, my phone kept doing something weird where it kept shutting off, and so the enemy tried to stop me from doing this video. But no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and I'm going to press on. And so I don't know what time it will be when you see this video, but just realize that it is 3:30 a.m. where I am. And I have to be conscientious that there are people around me that are trying to sleep. So my volume, I'm going to talk in a little bit of a lower voice than what I normally talk. But I checked the volume and everything sounds fine and clear. Also, I have the phone very close to me, so there shouldn't be any problems with you hearing me on the video. And so, anyway, tonight I'm going to be talking about a sensitive topic concerning lupus. It's not one that we talk about very often, but I think it's important that we do. A lot of times we talk about the physical aspects of lupus, you know, how the disease is impacting us physically, and we leave out the other side of the coin, which is the mental and the emotional piece of the puzzle of lupus. And so tonight, the topic that we're going to talk about is I'm going to give you some tips on how to manage the feelings of hopelessness that sometimes come with lupus. Okay? Um, you know, we have to realize that lupus impacts all areas of our lives, all areas of us as, as human beings. We are a three-part being. We're mind, will, and emotions. And lupus is a disease that can impact all three parts, the mind, the will, and the emotions. And talking about feelings of hopelessness or talking about the mental and the emotional part, it can be a sensitive topic. It can be one that we choose to avoid um, because a lot of times we don't want people to know that we're feeling hopeless. We try to hide that part. You know, it's easy to discuss the symptoms, the physical part, but what about the mental part that comes with it? But I want to tell you tonight that it's very important that we talk about the feelings of hopelessness, the other side to lupus. And I want you to know that if you are feeling hopeless tonight, that you're not the only one. You're not alone. As lupus warriors, we've all been there. This is a community in which, we can talk about hard things, difficult things. We understand the ups and downs and unpredictability of lupus. And I want you to know that you're not alone. We've all been there. But I came to encourage you tonight um, that we've all been there and that you will make it through. This too shall pass. These feelings will not last. That there is, at the end of the rain cloud, that there is sunshine, that there is a rainbow, and that this will pass. It will not last always. And we've all been there. And that you are surrounded by a group of people that support, that understand, um, and that, we don't want to leave you in a place of hopelessness. And so tonight, the 4 tips that I'm going to provide, I hope and pray that it will help you get to a point where you can make it through. Um, especially when you're dealing with the flare, with the pain, the fatigue, taking all the medications and just feeling yucky, you know, it sometimes can lead us to a feeling of hopelessness. But I hope these 4 tips that I provide tonight will help you to remedy that and to get through it. Okay? So let's get started. How do we manage the feelings of hopelessness that can come with dealing with lupus? Well, think about this. You've received a diagnosis that you have an incurable disease, a chronic disease that you're going to have to deal with for a lifetime. That, my friend, can lead to any person feeling hopeless, being diagnosed with a chronic lifetime illness. And when you think about it, what leads to the feeling of hopelessness is because we go through a period of grieving. And so when we think about grief, we think about, losing someone, losing something. But get this, when you're diagnosed with lupus, you go through a period of grief. You grieve losing the person that you used to be or that you were accustomed to. You grieve the person that you have to become in order to deal with this disease. You grieve your loss of independence sometimes. You grieve the loss of stability. For some lupus warriors, they had to lose their jobs or they had to leave their jobs in order to manage their lupus. We grieve our loss of security. I mean, because get this, you had plans for your life. Your plans didn't include an autoimmune disease. Your plan didn't include lupus. There was no way that we could have foreseen that down the line that we would be dealing with an autoimmune disease, an incurable one at that, for a lifetime. So life is so unpredictable. Lupus is so unpredictable. We didn't plan on this. So that can cause us sometimes to spiral into a place of hopelessness. And so you pair that with feeling that you're the only one and not getting, not being able to express that, trying to push all of that down. And that can lead, my friend, to feelings of hopelessness. But tonight, we're going to talk about how to manage those feelings of hopelessness. And so I'm going to provide you with 4 tips. Tip number 1, even on your worst days, try to find something positive to focus on. And so you may say, Laura, I'm going through this flare. I'm feeling horrible. How do you expect me to find something positive to focus on when I'm dealing with all of this and I'm feeling all of this? Well, first of all, we know that lupus has ebbs and flows, good days and bad days. But get this, the trick is to cherish the good days. And on those good days, pull something from that. Hide it in the recesses of your mind. And when you're going through one of your worst days or feeling that this is your worst day, rewind the tapes, pull that out. Pull out something positive to focus on. It will give you hope. It is the dividing point between hopelessness and hopefulness. It's the dividing point between hope and hopelessness. Also, get this, focusing on the negative, that's not going to help you feel any better. It's not going to change your circumstances. As a matter of fact, if you dwell on the negative, it can spiral you deeper into a feeling of hopelessness, despair, and eventually depression. And so we don't want that. So if you can just on your worst days, pull something positive from the recesses of your mind and keep that as your focal point. That is your hope, knowing that this is not going to last all day, that you will get through this, that others have gotten through the same thing and felt the same way, that you're not alone and they made it through. And this will encourage you that you can make it through as well. Tip number 2, with lupus, there's no place for rigidness at all. Lupus will change your plans at the drop of a hat. And so you can either try to fight it and have a stiff upper lip and say, you know what, I'm going to remain rigid. But with lupus, lupus will force you to change your plans. And so how can we get through this, without feeling the negative connotations that come along with that? First of all, realize that it's okay to change your plans. Second of all, become a more flexible and adaptive person. In order to make it through with lupus, you have to learn to become flexible and adaptive, and that even the best laid out plans, you may have to change those plans at the drop of a hat. Tip number three is rest when needed. Our body talks to us, it lets us know what we need. It gives us signals. And with lupus, just having lupus, sometimes you will find that your body demands more rest than it used to. And when you're going through a flare with the fatigue and everything, your body is demanding that you do a lot more resting than usual. Okay, but get this: it helps that um, throughout your day, schedule a time in your day to rest for 30 minutes or for an hour. And that can include a 30-minute nap or an hour nap every day. And even when if you have that scheduled time, even if during that time you don't go to sleep, just lay down and rest your body. Resting your body will be very beneficial to you. Resting your body not only does the body well physically, but mentally as well. It's that thin line between hope and hopelessness. Tip number 4, last but not least, become an excellent communicator of how you feel. A lot of times we try to bottle all of this in. We don't want to talk about it. We try to push it down. But undealt with emotions will eventually manifest. And sometimes they manifest in ways that we don't want them to. So instead of trying to bottle it all down and not talk about it, find ways to communicate effectively what you're going through and how you're feeling, whether it's with your doctor, a trusted friend, a family member, even if you have to get a life coach or a health coach, that's perfectly okay. Even if you have to go the route of talking to a counselor, that's perfectly fine as well. It's okay to talk about what you're feeling. Sometimes talking about what you're feeling to someone else, they can help you see it through a different lens, from a different perspective. Also, talking about things can help you feel better. It's like taking a weight off your shoulder. It's a tremendous relief. In addition to talking with someone, try journaling, writing an in-depth description of how you feel, writing out your feelings. Even prayer, for those of us that are believers, we know that prayer is a game changer. Journaling is a game changer. Praying, talking to the creator of the universe, God Almighty, somebody that we know that created us and that he cares. Whether you're talking to a person, you're talking to God, just having a listening ear to lean on and to let out all of this that you're feeling can be, it can be an insurmountable amount of health and benefits to you. Okay? And then under that, communicating effectively, also learn to ask for help when you need it and know that it's okay. For some of us, we're helpers, we're givers. Um, it's easy for us to give instead of receive. And sometimes it's hard for us to ask for help. It's even harder to receive help. But my friend, I want to let you know that it's okay to ask for help. Everyone at some point in time in their life will have to ask for help. And so that's a way of communicating effectively what you need, communicating your feelings, being able to ask for what you need, ask for help when needed, ask for what you need. Okay? That is very beneficial and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay? And so I'm going to wrap the video up at this time. As I always say at the end of every video, there is life after lupus. Stay encouraged, my friend. Stay strong. And I will talk to you real soon on the next video. And before I end the video, don't forget, just a reminder, if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so that you receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. Hit that like button, leave a comment below in the comment section, and also share the video. You don't know what someone is going through out there. Someone who really needs this video could be going through a period of time where they're feeling hopeless and helpless, where they're, feeling despair and gradually moving on that slippery slope towards depression. This information could be very helpful and beneficial to them. So share the information. All right. Bye for now.